I'm trying to let the recording start. Okay, this is my official first class. Taking class for this course. My name is Esther Oyineko. I'm a data analyst. I'm part of the Datakliq community. So I'll be taking the Power BI class today. I'll do my best to make the class as interactive and as fun as possible. If we have any question, you can drop a question in the comment section, or you use the Q&A button, or you just raise your hand in case you feel like you really want to like express how you feel. You can raise your hand, then we call on you when it is question and answer time. We'll always take a break to take questions and all that. So for today, I'll be starting from where Joseph stopped yesterday. Yep. So I learned we started with Power Query yesterday. So we'll continue from there today as well. I'll be sharing my screen. Once you can see my screen, just let me know. Let me share my entire screen. So like, kindly let me know when you can see my screen. I'll be sharing my
I can see
screen.
your screen. I can see it.
Okay, you can see the Average Invest weekly market report, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let me quickly give a rundown of what we'll be doing in the class today. So we've had a recap of what we did in the class yesterday. So we'll be moving on to after that we'll be talking about how to extract data from the PDF and how to load them in your Power Query and your Power BI instead of doing copy and pasting, instead of copying and pasting your data in your PDF. If there's a way you can like all this data, you can like bring them into Power Query, then Power or Excel and use to visualize your data just the way they did here. We'll be doing that. Then in case you also have we'll also be doing how to connect to a folder. Sometimes we usually have our data in folder, like for example, this. I have this folder here that contains sales data for 3 consecutive years. What if I want to just connect to the whole of this folder and I don't want to be bringing the data in one by one? So we'll also be looking at how to do that as well. Then we'll take questions after doing that. If you have questions, then that's when we will be taking questions. Then after that, we'll be creating date table because date table is really, really important when you are creating dashboard or reports in Power BI. So this particular date, we'll be creating a date table with it where we make it a longer one. So we create date table out of this single column that we have here. After that, we'll be looking at a way to like copy and paste query from one particular old query into a new query instead of importing your data fresh. But if you already have your query, your data in a particular Power BI for how you can easily bring it into a new Power BI instead of starting from scratch and that. Then we also take questions after that. Then after that, we'll be moving on to the main business for Power BI. These are also main business, but like the data set we'll be really working with for this cohort in Power BI. Then we'll introduce you to the data set, and from there we'll be moving on to next weekend. We'll give assignments. After that, we have a quiz. Yes, we're having a quiz. Then we're sharing assignments with you guys later in the Discord server. Yep. So this particular starting now, we'll be connecting I'll open my Power BI desktop. Please, Pusala, in case you stop hearing me or my screen stops sharing or it is lagging, kindly call my attention to it. Thank you.
Uh, All right, I will do.
So opening my Power BI desktop, I want to connect to a PDF to get my data from a PDF. My data is not in form of Excel or CSV. It is not in an SQL data or but I have my data in a PDF and I need to extract my data from a PDF. So what I would do, I believe Joseph touched this yesterday, is to just go to get data. And I go to get data, I'm getting my data from PDF because we have so many sources from where we can get our data from. But for this particular class section, I'll be getting my data from a PDF. So I just click on PDF. From there, I just click on connect. So it will be asking me what PDF I want to connect to. I really want to connect to this every invest weekly market report. Let me show us what the report actually looks like on norms. This report, you can see it's a new report that was just sent this Friday. It's a report that speaks to Nigeria stock exchange market. I receive it every Friday to know what is happening in the Nigeria stock exchange market in case you want to make investments and all that. I'm not an investor. I'm not preaching the gospel of investments, please. So you get the reports and all that. What if I want to actually analyze the data they share with me every week? What if I want to know what has been happening in this stock market and all that? But the data is in PDF as it is right now, and I really need to like do something about it. I want to analyze this data. Let's say I want to use this particular table to do my um analysis. The topic of this table is summary of domestic sovereign bond market. Okay, how are the bond markets be doing and all that. So I know this particular table is on page 5. So let me see. Okay, I want to bring this particular table into my Power Query. So I go back to my Power BI. I go to table 5. I know where my table is. So when I click on it, it's going to show me what it looks like. So you can always check every other one. You can always check every other one. Like, okay, this is the particular table I am talking about. Sorry. Is a particular table I really want to like analyze. If your PDF has several tables, it will always show you which of the table. So you can actually bring in multiple table and all that. But this is a particular table I just am interested in bringing in. So we can see the bond quotes, the maturity dates, the dates were issued, outstand, the tenure, TTM, modifier, bond offer. This column is just the one showing the how it is it growing, is it falling, and all that. So you will see that it's the one showing the image, but because image is not supported here, so it's going to show it as no, what is the yield and that. So I can always say, okay, I want to transform. So when I click on transform, it brings us into our Power Query editor. So then from here, anything you want to do with this table that you're bringing in, you can go on from here. We are not really doing any analysis. This is just to show you that you can bring data into your Power BI in case your data is in form of a PDF, it is not in form of CSV or it's not in an SQL server. You can always bring your table in from a PDF file. So I've brought my table in from this particular PDF as it is there without me having to be doing copying and pasting into an Excel instead of doing the original copy and paste that we always do of doing copy and paste. I can say how to do Control A, which is usually the default way we usually do normal, and just doing. Oh, sorry, that was the last thing I copied. So I'm doing the usual Control A and Control. Like it won't arrange it very well, as you can see. So that is a faster method and an easier method to bring your PDF file into your Power BI into your Power BI, or this can also work in Excel as well, like I said earlier. So you can go on from here to analyze your data anyhow you want to it. And we'll be moving on to folder connection. Like I said, if you have data in multiple, if you have multiple data in your folder, discard changes, not doing anything, discard. Yep. So for this particular one, there's a rule to it. If you are bringing a data in from a folder, all the data needs to be in the same format, like the same header. They all have to have the same number of columns. We have my order date, stock date, order number, product key, customer key, territory key, order line item, order quantity. If I open the second one, um, it should be in the same format as well. You can see it is in the same format. It really needs to be in the same format. If we are bringing in tables through a folder into Power BI, it needs to be in the same format. The header has to be in the same format. So going back into our Power BI, going again into get data, where am I getting data from? I'll click on more. I'll be clicking on more, then I'll click on my folder. From folder, we go on to connect as usual. So it asks for your folder path. I'll just be browsing my folder path. My folder is on my desktop. It's the sales data. I'll just click on OK. I do OK. So it is going to show you the folders in that particular, the files in that particular folder. I have my sales data 2020, sales data 2021, and I have sales data 2022 as well in this folder. So what I am just going to, it's going to ask you as well if you want to combine and transform data, if you want to combine and load, if you want to transform data and that. But what I will be doing is I'll be combining and transforming the data. So from here, it's going to show us the first file. The first file is the default preview, which is the sales data 2020. It's going to show us the file origin, the delimiter. It is in CSV, so it's a comma delimiter. It's going to show us based on the first 200 row, but if you want to see it based on the entire data set as well, it is possible to do that, but that is going to take us a long time to load. As we all know, Power BI takes time to load sometimes, depending on your laptop capacity and that. So viewing by the first 200 rows, then I click on OK. And click on OK. We can see here we have so many folders and all that showing. That is because we combined three different types of files together particular just to form a particular file for us. So now our three files are now in one folder. Our three files are now in one folder for us to see now. We can go on from here to say we want to visualize and that let's close and apply to see what will happen, taking it back to our the front end of the Power BI. Loading. So we can see we have our three files all here together. The 2020 data our 2021 data and our 2022 data, instead of bringing them in one by one and start doing appending or merging them together. Um, we've just created um, we've just created the one file just by just by just by connecting to a folder from our data source, and from here we can just go on to start doing any analysis we need to do on that. Can come here and start doing our analysis, but because this is not the file we are really working with, we are not really doing any analysis today. It's just to like show us the power of Power Query, the things Power Query can do, how we can work with our Power Query, and things we can do in Power Query. This class is going to be a bit fast. I'm really sorry. And if I'm too fast, please always because I can't see what is happening on Teams right now. Please, sorry, tell Busola so I can always come back to this and go over it again if there's anything you don't understand. But right now, I'll be taking question. Let's take question. Is there any question? Okay, I can see someone raising their hand. Elizabeth, if you have question, kindly raise your hand. Elizabeth, please, you can go ahead. Okay, someone said I should share the PDF file. Actually, you can use any PDF file. Even this PDF file, I had to just go into my email. See, I've not even closed the email. Like, just go and, because I told you every week they send a report. So I just came here to just get the
All
PDF.
right.
But it's a public PDF and I can always share it. So you can always use any PDF for it. So if you have any question, please let's
That
take
makes
it.
can be hard. Good
I want
afternoon.
class tracks. Good afternoon, Elizabeth.
Okay. Please, my question is not really far from this. As a novice, I always say I'm a novice in this. I don't know. I'm beginning to be a little bit confused between the difference between Power Query and then Power BI, because I realized that you're using it interchangeably at times. And I was asking myself, is there really a difference? I understand Power BI, but using it interchangeably with Power Query, I don't seem to understand. I don't know. Are they the same thing? Thank you.
Okay. I thought Joseph would have covered that yesterday. So Power Query is where you do your data transformation. So when you're bringing your data newly into, I'm not sharing my screen if you can't see my screen. If you are bringing your data newly into Power BI, sometimes this data might not be clean. So let me show you. Let me get data for example right now. Let me look for a CSV file that can easily bring in. Oh God, little desktop. Let me just do this. Okay, open. So if I am bringing in this particular data, if I am very sure that this data is very, very clean, this is from my Power BI now. This is me getting the data into my Power BI. If I am very sure this data is clean for Power BI, I don't need to do any transformation. The data it is the way I want it to be. The headers, the row and column, the data type, and every other thing, it is how it's supposed to be. I'll just go ahead and load straight into my Power BI. I can see I just go ahead and load straight into my Power BI. But if I am thinking my data is not clean, and I do okay, let me bring in another data. Let me click on products, open. So Power Query is also it's like the back end of Power BI. It's also in Excel as well. So let me bring in this data now. And when I click on instead of loading straight directly into my Power BI, if I click on transform data, from clicking transform data, I come into Power Query. Why? Because I want to do data transformation. I am not sure this data is clean. It is not sure that this data is clean. I might have some things I want to do here in case the data type and every other thing is not clean. So this is where you come to do your data cleaning, data transformation, and every other thing you need to do before analyzing your data. Because before you go ahead to analyze your data, you have to be sure that your data is clean, your data are in your data is in the right format, like the columns have the right data type. There's no any error anywhere. You don't have any empty cells or empty column anywhere. So this is where you do your data transformation. That is what Power Query is usually like. That is the main function of Power Query. It is for data transformation. So from here I can see that okay, my data here is in alphabet. That is, you can come here. So when you click here, you see the types of data type that there is. The one with 1.2 is showing this data type is supposed to be in decimal point. This currency 123 is showing whole number, percentage, date and time, date, time. This one is showing ABC right now. It is for text. Sometimes when you have text mixed with with numbers and special characters, they also still take the text format for your data type. Also, so I'm very sure now that my data is in the right format. This is also a text data, so it is in the right format. This particular column also is in the text format. It's also in the right format. These are in numbers, so it's showing 1 to 3. So that is whole number. So this is where you do your data transformation. Since I am very sure that this particular data are all in the right format, the right data type. So I can just go ahead to close and apply to do that. So the time when you come to Power Query is when you feel, oh, my data is not in the right format. I need to like clean my data and do every necessary things. So in case you are already in your Power BI and you are already analyzing your data and you are seeing some error, because you can't really do much data cleaning inside this front end, in the front end of Power BI. So in case I'm already cleaning my data and I feel like, okay, this data is not as clean as I thought it to be, I can just come to click on I can just come here and still go back to click on transform data. So when you click on transform data will take you back to Power Query. You can see use Power. I don't know if you can see the pop-up saying use Power Query editor to connect, prepare, and transform data. So I can just come here while I am clicking on prod thing, like to be sure that I'm clicking on that particular data set. So I can click on transform data and it will still take me back to Power Query to come and clean my data in case while I was analyzing it, I saw that okay, this is not clean enough as I thought it to be. It is not as clean as I thought it to be. So that is when we use Power Query. Power Query is also part of Power BI. There is no difference between them. Power Query is not a tool on its own. It is a tool inside the tool. So Power Query is a tool inside Excel. Power Query is a tool inside Power BI as well. Have I answered your question, Elizabeth?
I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Arafat. Hi, Arafat. I don't understand this particular question. The person can take a mic. Arafat, are you there? If you can't hear us, Joel. Joel, if you are speaking, we can't hear you. I can't hear you, Joel. Chineye. Chineye Jessica. Arafat, you have access to mic. You can see you just have to like unmute yourself. You can see this particular person has a different type of mic and your own is just showing person. So you have access to mic. Joel, if you are speaking, we can't hear you. Chineye, please. You all have access to mic, please. Okay. You can actually drop your question in the chat as well, in case you can't unmute yourself. Because if your hand is raised, you have access to mic. Like I said, I don't want this class to drag for long. I actually have to be at the hospital after this class. Um. Oh, so moving on, I'll be going on to creating calendar table. Calendar table is really, really important when you're analyzing data that has to do with time series. In case of you are dealing with the sales data, and most data you're analyzing actually sometimes is time series based. So you really sometimes don't have your date table created for you. Sometimes you need to create your date table yourself. So I'll be showing how to do that in Power Query as well, how to create your um date table. So we'll be getting the data. I believe it's in CSV, and it's to my desktop, the calendar open. I will be transforming it because it's just a single column right now. This is my single column dates where I'll be creating other date table. I really want this particular part to be really interactive because this is really, really an interactive part. So I click on transform data because I want to transform this particular, I want to transform this particular um data. So please, I need this class to be interactive because it's usually the most interactive session we usually add, because it's really something that people can really get to grab very, very fast. Please, I need like 5 people to volunteer to raise their hand. I'll do like the first two things. I'll create like the first two columns, and I need them to follow me along as I'm creating this particular the remaining column to tell us what to create next, what type of dates you would like to see us to create as we are going on. I need one more person. We have 2 people now. I need one more person. Arafat, just to confirm you can hear me before I go on. Arafat and Oluwatoyin, can you unmute yourself and speak, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Oluwatoyin. Okay, not to waste our time. So this is our main calendar table that we have that the company has created for us. But I really want to sometimes when you're analyzing your data, you want to analyze it based on day, the month, the year, the quarter. But this particular one is just showing us the date only. So if I want to do that, do I go? Okay, we have the transform table. The transform table usually just it will transform whatever it is in this column without creating any external or additional column to this table. But for this particular task that we have at hand, we need to add new columns to this table. So I'll be adding a column. So from there, I will go to the dates section. We have from text, in case I want to extract text, you want to format your text, and we have lower case, uppercase, capitalize, trim, clean, and the rest, and that. These are transformation that we can do for text based, and these are for number based. But you can see that these ones are not highlighted just because this particular column we are on, it is a date, so it is not, they are not going to be highlighted. Let me click on this and show you something. You can see that this particular part is now highlighted and these ones are not highlighted. So there's a the way Power BI and Power Query works, it can easily detect what type of data type you are working with. So it's going to allow you to have access to what you need to work with. So because this particular column are in numbers, so that's why these ones are not highlighted, and these ones I can't even click on them because they are not, this particular column is not a date, is not in date format. So let's go back to the table we are working with. So we can see now that our date our dates function is now highlighted back. So I can click on dates and see, okay, I just want to extract only the year. So when I click on year, like, okay, if I'm working with this data, I really want to like analyze this data based on the year. I don't want to talk to months or the day or anything. I just want to analyze the data based on the year. So I can just click on year. You can see automatically Power Query extracted the date, the year, sorry, the year from this my dates column for me. So now Oluwatoyin, sorry, is your name that I have off my head right now. Um in this dates column, what other example of dates format or dates function do you think we can extract based on what we have here?
Probably the month.
Okay, you want to see the month. Do you want to see the start of the month, end of the month, days in the month, or name of the month?
Start of the month.
You want to see the start of the month. So this is the start of the month. We can see the start of the month. So this data, this one particular one stops at January, so it's 31st of January. So particularly January starts from on the 1st. Going on to February, we can see that February is now has been broken down to start of the month of February for us to work with. In case when you're analyzing your data, you just want to see, okay, at the beginning of each month, how much did we have, how much sales did we make, or anything you just want to see based on beginning of the month. Going back to my date, again, let me see other people that they have access to mic, so I can call on someone else. Okay. Arafat, can you access the mic now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, thank God. Okay. So based on this, yeah, what we would like to see.
Um, let's just see. The let's see the days.
Okay. So do you want to see the day of the week, day of the year, start of the day, end of the day, or the name of that particular day based on this based on the date that we have here? Do you want to know maybe the 1st or the 2nd of January is a Monday, is a Tuesday? That's what name of the day is implying.
Yes, 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 yes. The exact day.
Okay, so name of the day. So if we go check our calendar now, the 1st of January of 2022 is definitely a Wednesday, the 2nd is a Thursday, and so on and so on. So that is how we create our date table. In case you were not given a date table to work with, you can easily create your own date table using Power Query. We can still go on and on. Oluwatoyin, what else would you like to see?
The week.
Okay, the week. Okay, what aspect of the week would you like to see?
Sorry, can I see the options? Okay.
Yeah, the options is showing here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, the week of the month.
Okay, the week of the month. You know, we usually have first week, second week, third week, and fourth week in a month. So when I click on this, so this particular dates are the first. This particular dates here are the first week of the month, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week. Sometimes, you know, our months usually enter 5 weeks sometimes. So we have the fifth week starting again. We have the first week, second week, third week of the month, and going on and on and on and on. There are still other things we can see from this particular date table. Arafat, what else can we see from here?
I would just say we should just check the quarter in which the month falls, in which the days fall to, like the quarter of the year in which it
Okay,
falls.
okay, quarter of the year. Okay, this is Q1. February is part of Q1. Q1. March is also Q1. So we have Q2. So Q2, this is April, that is when we start Q2. So you can always create your own date table, on and on and on. Like, you can always create your own date table. We have months. You can see the name of the month. In case you want to create, okay, this is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, going on and on and on. So in case you are given a date, a data to work with, in case you don't have a date table, you can easily create your own date table in Power Query. So this will make your work easier. It will make your analysis easier so that you can break down your analysis to the minimum level. Like, okay, we've seen the sales. Okay, we've seen the sales based on the year. Okay, we want to see the sales based on the day of based on the day name, in case you want to say that, okay, what particular day do we sell the most? Do we sell more on Sundays because or Saturdays because there is party going on, people are buying more drinks, and that people are at home, and people are have more time to buy things from us, so we sell more on Saturday. So you know how to prepare ahead for Saturday. So that, because Saturday is the days where you sell more, so you know how to prepare more for Saturday. And if it is on Wednesdays, so that's in case you are analyzing your data and you just say, okay, based on year, we say that, okay, we sell more on 20, we sell more in the year 2020, in the year 2021, 2022. Okay, in the year 2021, 2022, we sell more, but we don't know which particular day or week is boosting our sales. So for you to go deeper level, to the barest, to the lowest level of your analysis, it's easier to always know where your source of sales, the highest source of sale is coming from. Okay, now we know that we sell more on Wednesday, so we will always prepare for Wednesday, that okay, so Wednesday is the day we sell the most. So let's always make sure that on Wednesdays our shop is stocked to the fullest, so that we can always prepare for Wednesday. Okay, which month did we sell the most? Is it January? So you always know that at the January of every year, you are prepared. Nothing is catching you on unprepared. So that is what data analysis is always all about, because you are helping business to stay ahead of their business. You're helping them to stay informed. So you know that January we are making more sales just because you have your date calendar available. You've broken down your analysis to every level that there is to do it. So you know that, okay, it's January that we sell more. You are prepared ahead for January to do more. Okay, which quarter of the year do we sell more? Is it Q3 or Q4? You are prepared ahead for Q2, Q3, that okay, this particular time we sell more. Or the negative part, that you see that, okay, we really don't sell more in Q4. What does that mean? Why don't we sell more in Q4? Our sales in Q4 are always very low after comparing year on year. That okay, 2022 Q4, the sales was really low compared to other quarters. 2022 Q4, the sales was also low compared to other quarter of the year. Maybe Q1, Q2, Q3, you had more sales, but Q4 your sales dropped again. We want to know why. Like during our orientation, for those who attended, we spoke about this. Like, we are here to solve problems, so you know why this is happening, so you can always do a deep dive analysis for your business to know why this is happening. And that's so this, we can always still go on and on and on. There is no end to how you can create your date table. You can always go on and on and on to do more in this date table, to get more out of it, to do more out of it. So I can share this calendar. I will share this calendar table with us. Let me drop it on the chat. So in case you want to work with it, you want to practice from your end. Okay, I'll be taking questions now, but let me just quickly drop this calendar table. I'm not typing a message. Attach. Why am I not seeing attach? No, my attach is not showing. But I'll send it to the Discord server. So now we can take question and answers. before we move on. Let's quickly take question and answers for this before we move on ahead. Thank you, Arafat. Thank you, Oluwatoyin.
You are welcome,
If you
but
have
can I ask
question,
a question?
yes, please go ahead.
Please, I missed the process when you are saying that you merge two or three data sets together instead of entering new sources differently. Please, can you just re-explain that part when you
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that later. Um,
all right, no problem. Thank you.
any other question?
Eh, hello, can you hear me, Esther?
Yes, I can hear you, Tochukwu.
Okay, good afternoon. Okay, my question is, okay, like now in this case, you have the initial date from which you created the dates table. So assuming as a data analyst, you were not given this
Mhm,
additional this date and you needed to create the date table. So do
mhm.
you use a cell to create the additional date, or how do you go about it, or can you create that additional days using Power Query also?
So to understand your question, um, in case you're not given a date table, right? In your
Yeah.
sales table, for example, this sales data, I'm very sure you have this something like this. There's no if it has to do with dates, if the data has to do with dates, you have something like this. For example, you can say I have my order date, I have my stock date, so I can extract this particular one, take them to a new table,
Okay.
then from there create your date table.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. The next person, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Diet.
Yeah, please. I think my question is related to what Tutuku asked because I didn't get where you started the calendar table creation. I just saw you on I think you imported one column like that or a file, and yeah, that's just one column. So I'm kind
Yes,
of
and from
confused
there we
at that.
started.
Hey, I'm
Okay,
kind of
okay.
confused at that beginning. I didn't mean we don't even have something like that at all, and we want to create from afresh, or is it that we always have to extract from the data that we have? So
So this
that's my
particular
question.
one, okay, so this particular one, I had a calendar table, but I just add a single column from here. So from this single column, that was when we started creating this other one that we created. So after importing this particular calendar table, so from there we started creating other aspect of dates that we can't create. So we just come to add column. There's difference between transform and add column, like I said earlier. So transform column, if I click on transform column doesn't create a new column for you. It's just it transforms the particular um column you are currently working on. For example, this particular column, I want to format it. I can say I want to change everything to uppercase, everything will change to uppercase. I can say I want to change everything to lowercase, everything will change to lowercase. I can say I want to like capitalize each word. So that is just what transform date column is all about. But if I want to add column, a new column, I don't want it to like do anything to this particular column I have now. So I can just click on that particular column, then go to dates and do every other thing I can do in that column. Do you get? But based on what Tochukwu asked earlier, if we don't have a date table, if we weren't given a date table to work with, how do we create our own date table? So that was when I took into the sales data that okay, in our sales data, we add a date there. So you can just from this particular sales data start creating your dates like year, extract year. It will bring it to the end of the column. So you can see it is not, I'm not working inside the calendar table right now. I'm currently working inside the sales table. So from there, you can do every other transformation you want to do, because that's mainly what Power Query is. Power Query is for you to transform your data, shape your data, and do everything you want to do before going into the front end of the Power BI to do your analysis, do your data visualization, and that. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Next person, please. Okay, let me read the chat.
Díẹ̀ ló gbóòórùn tó kàn fẹ́ wá. Ó ti máa ń wá dọ́ríǹjì dé náà ní
Hidayat,
oríǹjì
please,
ojú
can you?
ẹ̀yìn.
Yeah, I think I've answered this right now. Okay, this is someone answering question. Someone said, why did I use start of the month? That was someone that someone asked, someone gave the suggestion to do that. You can always do anything you want with it. It is not a must that you do start of the month. You use start of the month in case you want to like analyze your data based on the start of the month. If it is that you want to analyze your data based on the month itself, you can do that, and it will just bring out January 1, 2, 3 in numbers. But if you want to see it in alphabet, that's when you use the date name option. That is when you use the date name option. But if you want to analyze your data just by doing the number of the month, like as it is the month, we have month, start of the month, end of the month, days in the month, name of the month. So you can always do anything you like, as long as it's available in this date table. You can always do things that you want to do there. Have I answered that person's question? I believe so. I believe so that I've answered your question. So for importing a folder, I will go over it again because we have so many questions on that. Let me just open my Power BI fresh. Save.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, I have a question I wanted to ask. I was on a noisy place, that's why I couldn't ask the question.
Please, can you hold on? Let me quickly answer this particular question I wanted to answer. Right, thank you. So please, can we all focus on this right now? Because I'm going over, sorry, I'm going over importing files from a folder again. So opening my Power BI from fresh. So I'm getting data. Where am I getting my data from? Where is my data source? I don't have it listed here because I'm getting my data from a folder. So I just click on more, click on folder, connect. So when you want to connect, it's going to ask you to browse the part of that folder. But before we do that, let's see what the files inside that folder looks like, because it is really, really important. So I'll be opening the sales file for 2020. So it has to have the same number of columns in the same format. Like as you can see, this is in a date format, this is in a date format, this is in text form, number, and the header are also the same. So this is very important. The rows might be, this one might be 3 rows, the other one might be 10,000 rows. That is not an issue. But the main important thing is that the columns must be in the same number and also the same format. Let me open the second one for us to see. you can see that it is also the same thing here. Let me just do them side by side so you can see it. Mm. So we can see that these particular two tables, they are in the same format. So for me to just for so to make this easier for me, if I want to analyze them, instead of them being in separate table inside my Power BI, I want to like make the two, actually there are three, but for rather because I'm sharing two. I want to make the two to be together, like it should be combined, they should be merged together. So that is why I'll be importing them through a folder instead of as an individual file into Power BI. So I'll be importing them from a folder, not as separate file. So I'm going to close. Let's go back to my Power BI, get data from the folder. We are connecting now again. What's the file part? I know my folder is on my desktop. It's my sales data. Open. Okay. So it's going to show me the three folder sorry, the three files inside that folder. I have my 2020, 2021, and 2022. So I am just going to you can do transform data, you can load, you can do anything you want to do. But because I want to combine the three of them together, I am not combining and loading. I want to combine and transform the data. I want to see it in Power Query. I want to be sure that what I want it to do, it is actually doing it. So I'm going to combine and transform the data. So from here, we are going to Power Query. It's going to show us a sample of what it looks like. So I click on OK. So this is it. So this is the sales data right now. Everything is in here together, the three files. So I can close and apply just for us to confirm that we actually have the three of them together. I can come to my table view. You can see the three of them is in here together. So I can just do okay. If I want to see just my 2020 data, I can just do okay, and I'll just be seeing only my 2020 data. But if I want to see the three of them, I can just select all and do okay as well to see the three of them. Have I answered this question? Because a lot of people were asking this particular question. Have I answered it? Please drop a chat in the comment section if you get it now. All right, thank you, thank you. I believe I've answered it now. All right, thank you. So moving on to the next part of the class. So I said instead of every time we are transforming let me just go back here. Going back to Power Query because we are still on Power Query. So instead of every time in case you already have your data inside your Power BI somewhere before and you actually don't really know where it is, on your system, your desktop, your laptop again, and you want to actually reuse that data in a separate analysis, so you can always open a fresh Power BI, open a new report. Let's go to transform data. Sorry. So you can just come to new source. So from new source, you click on blank query. So when I click on blank query, I can say connect. So from here, you just see this popping up. Then you can come to your old file. Just come here. Click on copy. When you click on copy, come to your new query. When you click on new query, then you can just come and do paste. No. Break. String error. I don't know why this particular one is throwing error. I'm going to like recap it for us in the next class, so I don't waste our time. Nobody's perfect. I'm sorry. This is currently throwing error back to me. Um, so we'll move on to the next part of the class. I'm really sorry about this, and I'd really like to show us how to do this. I can also share YouTube videos on how we can actually go about this, and I'll talk about it in the next class as well. So no, no, not now. Sorry. So let's say the particular data we'll be working with for this cohort in our Power BI class, where we will actually what we will do with where we'll be doing our analysis and data transformation and visualization. So we'll be using this particular data. It is a sales store data that we created ourselves. That is what we'll be using for this class. Trying to calculate. This is what we'll be starting from next class. So this is the date, a sales store data. This particular data, yep. We also have our calendar data. So a calendar data already, we already created our calendar table for this. So we already see where we have our transaction days, date ID, week ID, description, and month ID, and every other thing that has to do with the calendar. So from next class, we just go deep diving into data modeling inside Power BI, then data visualization. So this is the main facts table for the transactions, and that will be used for our visualization, and that we'll be sharing this file with everybody in the class for you to like get familiar with it, and prepare ahead of next class. Also, we have our employee. Every employer have their own data. They have their staff ID, their first name, their position, when they started, and their location as well, where they are based in. And also, we have our product as well. Each product have their product ID, their description, type, and the category as well. So this is just like me introducing you to the data we'll be working with for this class um ahead of next week. Please, if you have any question, kindly go ahead and ask now. Because we've come to the end of this class, but we have a quiz. Let me quickly share the quiz with us. Uh, Please check the section, the chat section for the quiz. Let's quickly go through the quiz. Let's quickly go through the quiz. Share your results with us. You can share on the Discord as well.